What is up, everybody? Tuboversity here today. This is just coming from the breaking news that we had. The CD Projekt Red was actually removed from the Sony store. Sony's giving people refunds for this game. The game is doing extremely horrible. Their reputation has gone to complete crap. But with these actions being placed, the the game has a huge defense force defending these games. They are defending this game, defending the developers, defending this thing overall, and saying, "Hey, CD Projekt Red is not at fault, but it's you gamers who are at fault. You gamers are the problem." I kind of touched on this in my last video I did about this game. Hopefully, this is gonna be the last video I probably do about this game because this is ridiculous. But the mere notion that the consumers, the gamers, are at fault is insane to me. That makes absolutely no sense. So this post is posted by a person who's I assume is like a game journalist. She has a following at least. And it's like the stuff she was writing on this Twitter post and the replies that she was getting and her future replies, it really rubbed me the wrong way. So we're gonna read this post. We're gonna read the replies that she had, and we're gonna talk about it. So she wrote, "Man, my heart goes out to the CD Projekt Red devs that work so hard for something that is just burning. A lot of these decisions, a lot of these cut corners that are on an executive level, there's a studio and then there's a company, and that's not a CD Projekt Red exclusive thing." Okay, so it might not seem as bad. You can say, hey, this is the executives, the big wigs who are pushing these developers. The developers aren't at fault, but they had this game to make for 8 years. Okay, it's not their fault. Okay, so let's keep going. The game is amazing, and I couldn't love them more. Thankfully, I can play it on PC, so most issues don't apply to me. They were so good about fixing and improving Witcher series. I know they'll do good by customers here too. Also, wish it was just smooth all around though. Alright, so he's playing it on PC. That is the best version of this game because PC is just is the best version of this game. We can't deny that. But the point is, the first two Witcher games were disasters when released. They did ground up rebuilds of the games to fix everything. I did not know this because I have not played the original Witcher games, but apparently those games were buggy as crap too. Apparently this company has this history of releasing buggy games like this. Because I heard the same thing about The Witcher 3, and now they're saying the other two Witcher, the first two Witcher games are buggy as hell. So only games I know from CD Projekt Red are the Witcher series and the Cyberpunk 2077 game. But they're all buggy. That seems like to be like the whole thing. When they make games, they're extremely buggy. So why are people not talking about this? Every game they make is extremely buggy. I don't know if they were buggy to the point where they're unplayable, like the Cyberpunk 2077 on base consoles, but this is still problematic nonetheless. So we're gonna keep going on. I know CD Projekt Red 2077 has been the easy target these past few days, but I keep thinking about how the whole situation is just sad, emotionally sad for the devs, emotionally sad for the devs who released a product that is unplayable on base consoles. But it's emotionally sad for the devs though, not the people who spent their money and went into a local Walmart, GameStop, or Target to pick up this game for their PS4 Slim or their base PS4 because I don't know what's up with these people in the comment section, but apparently most people think that Sony didn't sell 130 million PS4s, and that everybody just has a PS5 all of a sudden when most people don't have a PS5 because of the whole scalper situation or limited stock situation. Most people don't have a PS5, but let's have pity on the poor devs who released a game that's advertised on these systems, the PS4 and Xbox One. But you can't play it. You can play it on that system, but it's unplayable. It's an unplayable state. But let's blame the poor devs. It's like it's definitely the devs' fault here. It's definitely no. It's definitely not the devs' fault. It's definitely the gamer's fault. But okay, let's keep going. Let me see. Whilst an exclusive, it's reminding me of No Man's Sky. Highly anticipated, bombed beyond belief for what actually deep down was still a decent game, which Cyberpunk seems to be. No Man's Sky, another example that was being used on Twitter too. That's actually trending now. No Man's Sky and Fallout 76, because these are buggy games or games that were incomplete at launch, but then they got a lot better over time. Like I said, gaming is the only industry that I know that you can release a product that is unfinished and still expect your consumers to buy it. It's literally the only the only industry I know. Could you imagine buying a refrigerator and the refrigerator doesn't it's not cold enough, or Is the lights don't work in the refrigerator, or your shelves are missing. But hey, at a later date, a repairman might make your refrigerator colder. They might make the lights actually work. They might actually install some shelves in your refrigerator that you bought already. That is such a crazy concept, but gamers are okay with this in their industry because it's a video game. People and devs, and people they don't know worked on it for had 8 years to work on it. 8 years. We just ignoring that 8 year time span they had to work on this game though. But it's like the poor devs though. The poor devs. Let's see. From my perspective, at least CD Projekt Red has been transparent of what they plan on doing to fix things and have provided a timeline. No, they have not. And this guy in the next comment clarifies that on why they did not. What he's saying is completely false. I think the larger problem is the proclivity of too much of the gaming community to hop on a hate train because they just want to see things burn. So now the gaming community is to blame. They're on a hate train for this game in an unplayable state. I'm gonna tell you this: if I were to only have a base PS4 and I walked into the store and bought this game for the PS4 as advertised and the game did not work properly, I'm playing a game and it doesn't work, I'm gonna curse somebody out. I'm gonna be real frank about that. I'm cursing somebody out, whether it be Sony, this company, or the store I bought it from for this game even being sold. I, I'm really not grasping this whole concept that the gaming community, and this is on the gaming community now, not the people who made the game. It's not on take the blame on the people who made the game, but put it on the people who are buying the game in the gaming community. That makes zero sense to me. That logic is so stupid. It's like it's advertised for PS4, Xbox One. You buy the game, you buy the game for PS4. Why is it your fault? Why it makes no sense. It's not your fault as a consumer that you bought this for PS4. It's advertised for that system. It is not the gamer's fault. It's the developer's fault. Stop blaming the gamers. This is stupid. And then this person responded. They were not at all. They hit the game. They hit the console games until launch. They were definitely very shady with that. They have hit the console reviews. Didn't show actual console footage. They are to be blamed. They did malicious stuff at launch. Now, is this person going to deny that? He probably didn't. This guy has no reply, so this guy was a coward and didn't respond back to this comment. They knew what they were selling. Gamers in this case have rights to be angry. If you buy anything that doesn't work, you need to complain, not buy it and wait until it's fixed. Exactly. Exactly. It's like no, you can't. There's no way we can go from that. It's like they knew they were selling something that didn't work properly. It's like how the hell is it the gamer's fault, and why do you consider this a hate train? This is stupid logic to me. It's so stupid. And these are gaming journalists from big companies who are agreeing with this nonsense, who are okay in this nonsense. This is ridiculous. It also feels like there's a bit too much bleed, and some people are lambasting in the game and dogpiling on it. I haven't seen anyone just like rejoicing that this game flopped. Who has done this? Show them to me. Just because people report and say something negative don't mean they're. It's like I'm gonna keep going because that's gonna piss me off even more. My heart goes out to gamers who purchased that broken game day one. And then look at what this person replied. They didn't go through crunch and aren't seeing the world burn that they spent several years creating. I sympathize with the consumer side. No, you don't. But it's not comparable in this instance. At least to me, devs are being targeted for decisions made far above their pay grade. So she wrote that the gamers didn't go through crunch. Crunch happens in every industry. Whatever industry you work in, crunch is going to happen. These people got compensated for working overtime. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept. These people worked overtime. They got paid for their overtime. Every industry has this. No matter what industry you work in, there's going to be a form of crunch in that industry. So this whole pup game journalist saying, we wish there wasn't any crunch in the gaming industry. Every industry has crunch. Get over it. Let me see. And aren't seeing the world burn that they spent years creating? Well, if they had spent years creating a product that worked properly and not work, this is the thing here. I'm gonna keep repeating this, keep beating a dead horse. If they spent these many years creating this game properly and it worked on PS4, there would be no issues right now, or at least playable on PS4. If the game doesn't work on a console you're selling it for, don't sell it on that console then. Why is it such a hard concept to understand? Literally, this is the only industry where the developers will have sympathy. People who make a product will have so much sympathy for people who make a product that they don't release it in a proper state. You buy a toaster, it doesn't work properly. The people who make the toaster, they're gonna fix it at a later date. Who would buy that toaster? Who in the right mind would buy that toaster and say we just hoping on you fixing it properly? You advertise the toaster works, but it doesn't work. But we're gonna have sympathy anyway. That makes no sense. Only the game industry is this concept allowed. This concept people even think about this? But let's just keep going. These people, these journalists, and these people defending this company. Stop defending this company. They are just like any other company. They just want your money. If they really cared about the gamers, like this whole thing they've been portrayed, this light they have been portraying, so such a caring company about the gamers, this game would not, we would not be in this position right now that we're seeing with this game. It would not be in that position. They really cared about the gamers. They wouldn't have advertised for PS4. It wouldn't be advertised for PS4 or base Xbox One, but it is. They were very misleading in the advertisement, very shady, but not giving out constant review codes. It's like, and they were the biggest influencers. Remember the YouTube influencers who had those bright yellow chair, the yellow chair brigade? They have been very silent. These people have been very extremely silent about this game. They were making videos daily on Cyberpunk 2077 with no bright yellow chairs, and they have quiet as a church mouse now. This is why I don't take a lot of these gaming journalists seriously. It's like they are just paid shills. The more honest, I'm gonna keep it real. You're gonna get honest reviews from an average YouTuber who has a small channel and just gonna give you the blunt truth about what they feel about these games. These gaming journalists who get paid to review these games aren't gonna tell you the truth about these games whatsoever. How long did it take IGN to tell you the truth about this game as well too? People are praising IGN a little bit, but how long did it take them? Well, didn't nobody say anything wrong about only the PC people or PC versions were being reviewed, but no console versions were being reviewed? IGN only jumped on giving a negative score because they saw the backlash that actual gamers were saying with this game. So it's like I kind of don't trust the official gaming journalists like that. Sure, I might watch a video review from now and now, but from then, but I'd rather trust a regular person who's just doing it out their apartment like this, not in a big studio. Well, because of COVID now, like people are probably doing that studio too, probably doing that apartment now too. But it's like it's certain people like the gaming journalist industry it's just trash at this point. It's just kind of trash at this point. Let me see. I always wonder which games show clear dev shortcomings versus executive failures. Feels impossible to know from an outside perspective. Maybe it's different on PC, but I'm really enjoying Cyberpunk 27. Okay, so this comment is null and void. We understand that it works on PC. I don't understand why more people keep posting that comment that you're having no problems on PC. Great for you. But we're talking about the console. I don't understand why PC gamers keep writing that it works great on PC. Okay, that's great for you, but a large audience, a large portion of people they were selling this game to were on consoles. A large amount of people bought the PS4. Over 130 million people Sony have sold this PS4 to. You can't get the PS5 once again. You can't get most people cannot get the PS5, so they are planning on the PS4. You having no problem on PC is null and void. It doesn't do anything for the average consumer because that version works fine. Great, kudos. But the people on PS4 are suffering right now because the game is in an unplayable state. People have probably went to the store and bought this game, and they realized they bought a piece of garbage. So stop defending these companies. Stop. It's just getting very disgusting and sad at this point. This is always my first thought, and it always makes me pause when talking about these games. It's the double-edged sword of they have to be talked about, but man, those devs are very likely crunching right now on a patch and are probably so damn tired. It's legitimately soul crushing that developers have to do crunch. Every other industry on earth has to do crunch, but only the game developers, we should feel so sorry for them. But no other industry that does crunch, we don't give a crap about though. We don't care. It's such a ridiculous concept. Only in the gaming industry when you see people complain about somebody have to do overtime. And then they should do overtime. The game is garbage. That doesn't work properly. Like, sure, you can have your opinion about the game being a great game. You can have that opinion, but they release a game that doesn't work properly. These big companies like Microsoft and Sony and Steam should crack down on that a lot more. I bet we won't have these big day one patches anymore. If this was definitely straight, if every company got dealt with how CD Projekt Red got dealt with, this stuff would stop happening. I remember the days, the 360 when I bought Fallout New Vegas. I bought that game from Amazon. And it's like I was so excited to have that game, but when I played the game for a few hours. It went just fine, but they gave you a free DLC code when you bought it from Amazon. So when I put the DLC code in, the game got completely corrupted from the DLC skin that was included when you bought the game. It was a promotional item when you bought the game. So that my game actually stopped working. The data was corrupted. I put at least like 6 hours into that game. I was so pissed off. I was so thoroughly pissed off. So I would have loved during that time period that we have right now with social media is this big where people gave their complaints have been worldwide, very spread out. This game is a buggy piece of garbage. Don't buy a Fallout New Vegas when it released. It corrupts your data after you put like several hours into it. I would have loved for Twitter to be around back then because I was so pissed off buying that game. I spent full price on that game and it didn't work. It corrupted my game. It didn't work properly. So this whole blaming the consumers for a game that these developers advertise to work on your system and it's buggy and it's corrupts your data. The game is crashing. The textures are terrible. The frame rates are terrible. It is not okay to blame the consumers for this. Blame the developers. Blame whoever you want to say. You want to say the senior executives, but the developers are. They just have no. You just won't blame them at all. Blame they asses too. Be honest. Don't blame everybody at that company. It's like this is such a ridiculous concept that we want to blame consumers now. Consumers have no right to be, their voices should be heard because it's a hate pile or a dog pile. These stupid comments these people are talking about. It's not a hate brigade or a dog pile when people are voicing their concerns about products that don't work properly. It's like this is supposed to be off because I know of games I bought at launch that didn't work properly. They were, and then people like this are just defending that stuff. It's garbage. It's just BS. So this person wrote, CD Projekt Red is going to make $1 billion from Cyberpunk 2077. All this heat means nothing. Gamers are toothless, unprincipled cowards with no scruples. They whine, but they buy the very thing they're complaining about. It's incredible, really. I'm playing on PC. Game runs great. I can agree. Gamers don't stand up for what they actually preach because a lot of gamers complain about games, but we see like games that have these loot boxes and microtransactions that people claim that they hate, they still buy it anyway. People say that they hate the yearly Madden franchise or Call of Duty franchise, but they still buy them yearly and they sell like insane numbers. So gamers are kind of full of crap in a lot of ways, but we're gonna read her response. She says, it means nothing as devs are literally crying from receiving death threats in the hundreds. I'm not talking about a company doing well. I'm talking about the people. These people receiving death threats. Who is he receiving death threats? Like the company as a whole. Like I'm assuming you mean like the big names at these companies, because who the hell is just like I'm so angry. I'm gonna send a death threat to a random person at CD Projekt Red. Who most logical people aren't doing this. They're just pissed off they got a part that don't work. But this feels so much sympathy for these developers. Like they just had nothing to do with this whatsoever. They're just innocent beings in this whole situation right now. Stop it. Stop it. And these death threats, this is overblown. This is such overblown. Like this is stupid. Then some party wrote, "Yup, and it goes beyond bugs. Planet feels like the entire scope of the game was cut in half midway through production. They had 8 years for this, but okay. Yup, they were probably coded for the PS4 and Xbox One. Then, before they had a chance to optimize it, the Series X was announced, and they were told to add functionality for that console, and they ran out of time to go back to optimize their other consoles. Whose fault is that again? Is that gamers' fault that they released the game why is this gamers' fault again? Can somebody explain this why this is gamers' fault again? Why are they so angry with the gamers but not the CD Projekt Red? Why is CD Projekt Red trying to get it passed? No, I'm just saying, if this was EA or Activision, people will be going 10 times harder. But because of CD Projekt Red and it was painted as such this light as the savior of the gaming industry, all because of one game, Witcher 3, because I haven't seen no other people praise any other CD Projekt Red games before besides Witcher 3, but because of this one game, they're such a highlight, they can't get ripped from that throne, that golden light, that throne that they were in before because of this because of this bad game. So they can be put on high because of one good game, but they can't be taken off their throne because of this bad game. So, well, this bad game with all the bugs. Okay. So this person wrote so true queen. I don't know why she's considered a queen, but okay. This game is amazing, but playing on my PS5 through back compatible, I've had 2 crashes in 25 hours. I played. I've also not run into the glitches that others have claimed. This isn't a dumpster fire of a game like sensationalists are trying to spread. Okay, so this guy is playing on PS5. This is the issue what I have. I am playing the PS5 version as well. It crashed once for me. But the point is, I don't like with people who are saying, you have a next generation system. Great for you. Most people don't have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. People are complaining daily about not being able to get one because of scalpers. But you're like the exception. Most people have a PS4. They are playing this on PS4. You are the exception. So I don't understand just because you play on PS5 that negates a whole segment of gamers. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you just negating the whole segment of gamers who Sony have sold the most consoles to ever? I think the PS4 is probably one of the highest selling consoles we have seen in modern history. So we're just going to neglect the whole fan base right there and say f them. You should have a PS5. You should have probably bought one over scalp, buy one for like $1,500 to $2,000, or have a high end PC that can run this game. But screw the people who have a PS4 though. This bond set is ridiculous. How long is this video? Oh, this video is way too long. Okay, I'm in this right now. This video is way too long. But yeah, I'm stop defending this company. Didn't defend the consumers, defend the gamers. That's what I'm summarizing with. But at the end of the day, everybody can have their own opinion. I'm just pissed off at people who are defending this company, but hating on the gamers, say this is a hate train from gamers, but not legitimate complaints. This is ridiculous. Yeah, that's the end of this. This concludes this video. Leave your comments down below. I definitely want to see them. Leave a like for this video as always. Thanks for watching and peace.